It's well before sunup on a cold Sunday morning in late November, just outside the tiny hamlet of Glenville, California. 8-year-old Paisley Carver holds the lead rope for her 9-year-old brother Zane as he tightens up the saddle on his horse Pickles. They are the 7th generation of Carvers to saddle up in the dark at a family ranch that dates back to the 1870s. Today, they'll ride with their father, grandfather, and other family members and friends on the annual Carver Family Cattle Drive. Here in the Sierra Nevada foothills, about an hour up a windy highway east of Bakersfield, the Carvers drive their cattle 25 miles every fall as they move the herd from a summer grazing permit in the mountains to a warmer winter pasture at a lower elevation.
The summer pastures are clear up on the Sequoia National Forest, and it's all snowy and cold up there, but that's their summer pastures, and their winter pastures are down on the valley floor.
The annual fall trek down California Highway 155, once a wagon road, takes 3 days, a family tradition that dates back to 1947.
Yeah, been doing it twice a year since before I can remember.
Joel Carver grew up on the ranch his dad Nathan still runs. Today, Joel raises horses and shoes them as well, working as a farrier in the Fresno area.
And her name is?
Quincy.
Quincy
Joy.
Wife Shane is a riding instructor, and the 3 kids are growing up horseback. Paisley and Zane have long been accomplished, confident riders, already regular winners in barrel racing and horse shows. And both are good hands on a cattle drive. 2-year-old sister Quincy isn't far behind.
Tell him, Q. Tell him, hey, cows.
So she'll be on this drive next year then, huh?
Next year, she'll be riding down the road. Start him young.
Nathan's 4 adult children return home when they can to help with the drive.
Yep, since I was little.
This year, only Joel and his sister Esther could make it.
Getting on the horse all bundled up in your jacket and not being able to move, and yeah.
Having fun up there, Hattie?
And now Esther's young daughter Hattie will have her own memories of growing up horseback on the cattle drive. Earlier, after loading horses in the dark, dawn was breaking as we unloaded the trailer at the corral where the cattle had spent the second night of the 3-day cattle drive.
My dad used to bridle my horse, and now I get to bridle my kids' horses.
With a boost into the saddle from their dad, Paisley and Zane were horseback in the corral. Nathan and Joel quickly joined them to push the herd out the pasture and through the gate. And before it was even officially sunrise, Carvers had their herd headed down the asphalt trail. Not much traffic on a Sunday on remote Highway 155, and the Carvers seem to know most everybody who does come by.
Betsy, good to see you.
Good to see you. We've raised Black Angus.
Family friend Clara Anthony is here to help out. The 17-year-old is from a neighboring ranching family. Growing up horseback, she's an experienced hand the Carvers are glad to have along.
Been doing it ever since I can remember.
Clara rides with a rope in her hand for most of the day. She's a rodeo girl who competes in team roping.
This is really good practice for branding pins.
Okay, right there. 1, 2. Nice.
Young Zane is working on his roping too, with Dad coaching.
Takes a lot of practice.
It's not an easy skill to master.
A lot of practice. Spend all day with a rope in your hand.
Roping is a very necessary skill in this ranching family.
This is a good time for him to practice his heeling for the branding pin.
It's not long before we see Joel putting his roping skills to use. The calf is somehow snuck under a barbed wire fence, and Joel takes off to catch it. He soon has the young animal roped and tied, and back with the herd. Paisley's working on her roping too. Not easy to rope and dolly when you're just 8 years old, but she does get it done. The Carvers have high expectations for their kids, who are counted on to do their part on the cattle drive, and they don't disappoint. It's hard work, but hey, riding horses, pushing cows, throwing a rope, it's pretty fun as well.
Fun?
Yeah,
What's fun about it?
everything.
There's definitely that fun element, but it is also hard work. It's a good kind of hard work where you're at the end of the day when you're tired, you know that you accomplished something.
Just days before Thanksgiving, we're lucking out with the weather.
We're moving right along at a nice steady pace. That's what we need to do.
While snow is rare in this country, November can be wet and cold.
On a rainy day where it's just raining all day long is probably the worst to be out in. You got to finish it up and you're just wet and miserable all day.
But it's almost too nice. After an overnight low in the 20s, the temperature warmed up into the 60s. But that much heat is hard on the cattle, who move much better when it's cool.
Keep them moving.
Slow down as the day wears on.
Yeah, they're tired this afternoon. Way too hot for wintertime.
Even under the best conditions, the cattle drive can be hard on the cows.
Yeah, the cattle drive's very stressful on the cows. Any kind of moving is.
Not easy on the Carvers either.
It's a very big challenge to take 160 pairs and drive them 25 miles and get them all there safely and with their cows. And each one has their babies and the crew and everything, get it all done. It's quite a challenge.
This is Nathan's paycheck going down the road, and it's serious business. This is not a dude ranch, and it's rare for even family guests to be invited to ride along.
This is a very stressful time to get through, and it just adds more stress to it. They have to pay a whole lot to be able to make it worth it.
This cattle drive starts before sunrise because the day's work will last until sunset. With young calves just a couple months old, you have to push these cows every step of the way. Nathan and the family spend much of the day pushing the cows on foot and chasing them out of roadside ditches. The Carvers have been pushing cows for generations. Nathan's ancestors came west by wagon train in the gold rush days of the 1850s, settling in this area in the 1870s. The Carvers have been raising cattle in this country ever since.
What you doing?
I'm gonna go turn some water on.
This is the other California, and a way different lifestyle than crowded Los Angeles, less than 3 hours away. The late afternoon shadows are beginning to stretch out
Wait, that's where we're going.
when Nathan spots our destination.
Yep, it's in sight.
As we approach, horses on a neighboring place gallop up to see what's happening. A beautiful sight. And it's a beautiful sight for everyone. As the cows finally come off the highway and into their winter pasture, the drive is done, but the work is not.
Hey, we're all here, but now we have to separate pairs.
There's still another hour or more of sorting to do. The animals need to go into different pastures, and everybody works together to cut cows out of the herd and get the right animals in the right place. And as they do, the setting sun provides the perfect light for photographs. Daylight's almost gone by the time they get her done, but finally, it's over.
Yep, we're all done. Now we're all done. That feels really good.
Quite an accomplishment. But then, the Carvers have accomplished a lot since those wagon trains came west all those years ago. And from the looks of Paisley and Zane and the rest of this horseback family, the Carver cowboy traditions will be in good hands and providing food for the rest of us for generations to come.